Indian classical music is traditional, rich, beautiful, intense, and yet relaxing and meditative. You and I are living a typical 21st century life with gadgets and information overload. How are we going to connect these two worlds? Or is it even possible? Or does it even make sense? Let us face some hard questions together. Can you imagine starting your Indian classical music journey without joining a vocal or instrument class? Do you think you can start Indian classical music exploration without musical talents? Do you think it is easy to get started with Indian classical music along with daily responsibilities of your busy lives? Can you imagine working professionals benefiting from Indian classical music? Do you think it is easy to groom Indian classical music lovers within your family in today's times? Is it easy to find safe spaces around you to emote, express, and simply bond over Indian classical music? Are you able to sit through or appreciate long Indian classical music concerts without getting bored? Do you even see the need to? Are your children supported enough on a regular basis to enjoy Indian classical music? Can you imagine a common man equipped enough to study or research on Indian classical music without being a music student? Can you imagine a wholesome Indian classical music exploration experience in the digital space? Can you imagine learning Indian classical music for any other reason outside of stage performances? Have you imagined the power of Indian classical music to heal our communities in today's uncertain times? Have you experienced the emotional and intellectual appeal of Indian classical music to connect with yourselves and others? Have you thought of long-term benefits of Indian classical music to de-stress and tackle anxiety? There are so many more questions we have in our minds. The not so surprising answers to all the questions is no. We tell you it is possible with love, with consistency, with technology. It is possible at ShrotaHouse. We are here to connect beautiful worlds and let the magic of Indian classical music blossom in every home. Subscribe to Concert Express, a classical journey where you regularly listen to Indian classical music and just open up and express while seamlessly learning about the art forms. Concert Express by ShrotaHouse is a program which is regular, relaxing, rejuvenating, for we believe that listening is the beginning of learning. ShrotaHouse takes each of you to the beautiful world of Indian classical music. And we hope to see you at Concert Express, a classical journey. Thank you.
Namaskar. A very warm welcome to our viewers today and our Rasikas. Today we are hosting the fourth panel discussion of Shrota House, and this is a discussion which is dedicated to the musical journey and musical contribution of the Doyen of Agra Gharana, Pandit Srikrishna alias Babanrao Haldankar. Today being his 95th birth anniversary, we are celebrating this day by discussing his musical journey as a guru, as a performer, and as a scholarly writer. Today I have with me distinguished panelists Vidushi Kavita Kharwandikar. Namaste Kavita Tai, welcome to the panel.
Namaste.
And Pandit Dhananjay Kharwandikar. Namaste Dhananjay ji.
Namaste.
A warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
I formally introduce them to our audience. Srimati Kavita Kharwandikar. Kavita ji is a senior disciple of Pandit Babanrao Haldankar. She has received direct talim from Pandit Haldankar for over 2 decades. She has been previously trained under the guidance of Jaipur Gharana stalwart Dr. Alkadev Marulkar. Kavita ji is well acquainted with the intricacies and niceties of both the Gharanas and has performed regularly to the satisfaction of appreciative listeners. She is also well versed in singing semi-classical forms and has also done playback for films. She has performed at All India Radio National Concert. Alurkar Music House of Pune has released 3 albums of Kavita ji titled Rare Compositions of Agra Gharana. She is a recipient of many prestigious awards such as Vrindavan Shastriya Sangeet Award, Swarananda Prabodhini Award, and Vidushi Manik Verma Award. I welcome you, Kavita Tai, to today's discussion once again. The second panelist, Shri Dhananjay Kharwandikar. Dhananjay ji is a renowned tabla player and a music composer. His musical training began under the guidance of his father, Dr. Devi Prasad Kharwandikar. Dhananjay ji has received extensive talim of tabla from tabla maestro Pandit Vinayak Rao Thorat. Apart from being a soloist, Dhananjay ji has evolved as a sought-after accompanist. He has accompanied many maestros such as Pandit Chota Gandharva, Vidushi Veena Sahasrabuddhe, Vidushi Alkadev Marulkar, Vidushi Shubhadha Paradkar, and also Pandit Babanrao Haldankar for many years. As a music composer, his most notable works are the albums Jau Devachiya Gava, Suno Bhai Sadho, and Stotra Manjiri. He has also composed for a film, Astu. Dhananjay ji has composed many tabla compositions which are released in an album titled Upaj and have received accolades from finest tabla exponents. A very warm welcome to you, Dhananjay ji, and I'm honored to have you both today with me today. In a way, I'm honored to hear from you because of your long association with Haldankar ji, and also because you both are my gurus. So it's a special occasion for me that way. I would like to begin this session by a short introduction of Pandit Haldankar ji's life and his musical journey in the form of a musical video audio clip. this video, I think we have got a glimpse of how illustrious musical career and musical journey Pandit Haldankar has had, and what an impeccable contribution he has made to Indian classical music. And we are discussing various facets of this legendary guru. And I would like you to begin by illustrating and giving insights about him as a guru in the beginning.
Thank you, Dharitree. I take this opportunity first and foremost to thank the organizers for arranging such discussions, because it is very important for our generation as well as the future generations, because we have to take the thoughts of the legendary stalwarts from different gharanas forward. We have to take it to the next generation, and that is our duty, I suppose. And that's why it is a very commendable effort to start such an activity. This is, as you mentioned, is a tribute to the musical prowess of Pandit Babanrao Haldankar. We used to call him Kaka. So in the future discussions, we'll mention him as Kaka only. Today we are going to look into the different sides of his musical personality. That is, Guru as a performer, as a composer, as a writer, as a critic, etc. So to start with, let us focus about his role as a guru in our lives and in the lives of our disciple friends. So as a guru, I am not the direct disciple, as you know, Dharitree, that I am not the direct disciple of Pandit Haldankar ji. But still I have learned a lot from him. But to start with, let us take in Kavita's views about him as a guru. Kavita, please join in.
Yes. It's my pleasure to say something about my guru. It is something very prestigious also for me. And I started my talim at from Kaka in 1997. And as I started my talim from him, he always emphasized on one sentence, that is, ये कला है, ये कोई शास्त्र नहीं. मैं तुम्हें कला सिखा रहा हूँ. It's not just a technique, it's an art. And I think still there is technique also included in that, because without technique you cannot go ahead. But technique, it should not remain only up to the technique. It has to have its melody and something very melodious like. So he taught me how to improvise raga. Sometimes you don't know prachalit ragas, you may know, but what about unvat ragas? What about aprachalit ragas? So he used to say that you should by heart the sthai bandish of that raga by heart, and you should repeat it for so many times that after one stage comes that you come to know how to improvise a raga. And there is, you should learn
also.
in Akar also. And then you should learn more bandishes in one raga, so you can get different aspects of the same raga. Because sthai ke ang se gana jo hota hai, jo when you sing a rag, when you place a sthai, you form one sthai and you get that ragaru. But every sthai is not on the same note. Some is not on the same note. Some is on pancham of some raga, or some it is on shadja or tar shadja. So how to improvise it? So you go to according to sthai. That's what he used to say. And of course, while singing, you should focus on pronunciation also. Like how to pronounce words while singing, bandish words. For example, there is one bandish in Chayanad. Jhanana, 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 baje payal. So he used to say, don't say jhanana, jhanana, na, 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 na. Say jhanana, 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 na, 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 baje bechuva. So that uchcharan of that na, pronunciation, is very important. And while singing, always maintain melody. That's what he used to say, because some things are for female singers and some things suit in female for female singers, and some are for male singers. So while singing tanas and all, there is gamak. Of course, there is gamak in that, but don't sing that we do in Drupad. So don't sing it that way. You have to have gamak in your voice, but how? Only this much. This is not meant for the ladies. This is not meant for the female singers. That was he used to say. And you should keep span of full tal in front of you, full avartan, full cycle of the tal in front of you. So while you approach to the sum, that amad comes, and then you come on the sum. And while singing, your literary meaning of that of those bowls and musical meaning of those bowls should go in hand in hand. Like there is one bandish in Bihar, कैसे समझाऊं सखीरी जियरा कल नहीं पावे. So कैसे समझाऊं is one sentence. सखीरी जियरा कल नहीं पावे is one sentence. But if you sing कैसे समझाऊं सखीरी and you finish it on जियरा, then it has got no meaning. So you should.
बोल टूट गया वैसे बोलते थे.
हाँ, बड़े खां साहब, मतलब पद्म विभूषण उस्ताद खादिम हुसैन खां साहब also used to say, ये तो बोल गिर गया. गिर गया, बोल गिर गया. हाँ, बोल गिर गया. तो so it was his specialty. It was Kaka's specialty to teach us how to improvise, how to present a bandish, how to pronounce a bandish, and how to get that content of literary content and musical content together. So
and
that's what his real specialty.
I just want to add, Kavita. He was against the typical perception that Agra Gharana is meant for Laikari only. It was not so. It's not so, and he showed it with demonstration, because in his sur and all that, he showed that what he used to say about. Suppose he was singing Komal Rishabh Asavari, and he used to use that upper note Rishabh. So that showed the क्या बोलते थे उसको
लागडाट. उसको ये लागडाट बोलते हैं, जो that is got we have got 18 angas, 18 types in Agra Gharana, that we present a rag in different way. So one rag is not like the other one. If in a mehfil you are presenting one rag and again second rag, it won't be the same like first one. Right. It will be different. Presentation will be different, I mean to say. So because of these 18 angas in that gharana. You can go ahead, Dhananjay.
Yeah. So I'm not, as I mentioned, I'm not a direct disciple of Kaka, but he taught me a lot. He was open-minded. And before me, Pandit Suresh Sarwalkar, Pandit Yogesh Samsi used to accompany him. And I was very fortunate to get that opportunity. So, as you can imagine, it was a very tough ask to fill their shoes. And fortunately, I got that opportunity. And Kaka didn't directly tell me anything about how the theka should be and all. But with his presentation, he indirectly showed me a lot. And my first love, as you know, Dharitree, is vocal, that is sur. I get engrossed totally. So I definitely enjoyed playing with him. he used to say, Kavita, about the voice, the quality of voice, how it should be. It must have weight, it must have nad, then it must have
Ghumar.
the tonal quality, ghumar, roundness, as you can say, then
So one should
resonance.
achieve all these things in
Yes,
one's voice.
resonance also. So the same thing applies in case of tabla. And I tried to accommodate those things in my tabla playing. And that was the biggest lesson I got it. And I learned from him the Agra Gharana intricacies as well, because I previously we used to listen to Fayaz Khan Sahab, Khadim Hussain Khan Sahab, etc. But when we came close to Haldankar Kaka, then it really threw a lot of light on the Gaiki of Agra Gharana, and we are definitely fortunate
One
regarding
thing
that.
I would really like to mention here that his Gaiki, Kaka's Gaiki was a blend of Jaipur and Agra
Right,
Gharana,
right.
because he received a great talim from Padma Vibhushan Mogubai Kurudikar ji, and of course from Pandit, of course from
Ustad Khadim Hussain Khan
Ustad
Sahab.
Khadim Hussain Khan sir. And it was a different blend. Means you just can't say that it is Jaipurang or this is Agrang. It was a good blend of both the Gaikis. That's what I feel.
Right.
Uh,
So the second aspect,
Yeah. So wonderfully, you have put a few aspects of his Gaiki, which he brought to his disciples through his teachings. And here I would like to, I think you're hinting at the Upaj.
Mm-hmm.
And Upaj is something, it's not just permutation and combinations, it is something more. And as a guru also, he had to, every guru has to do it for for their students, but
Yes.
also as a performer,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very essential quality that a performer should have. And I would like you to elaborate on that part now.
Kavita, you can go ahead, then
Uh-huh.
I'll add something. Yeah.
Yes. I think I would like to say that I learned one rag from him in for many times. Suppose I've learned Khambhavati today. After 2-3 months, I again learned Khambhavati. And once he started teaching me Khambhavati, we used to have 3-4 sessions of the same rag. But in every session, Khambhavati was different. So it was Uppa's Ang from him. And after 2-3 months, Khambhavati was again different. So, so I think every guru
And in
should
the
have that.
performance, he was different again. In his
And in
performance,
performance, it was different again, of course. But I think that it is a challenge for a guru also to to उपज निकालना उपज करके disciple को बताना. It's very difficult for guru also, but Kaka was so much capable of it that every time that rag sounded different. And so though he taught one bandish in that rag, we, as I said before, that you should know many sthai and antras in one rag, but in one bandish only he used to show so many things that we could see the raga from different angles. And
right,
while performing it with myself, I could use those guidelines from him.
right.
So
Actually, I would
and
like to, Kavita, I'd
nee,
like to add something,
go
and
ahead.
then you demonstrate something, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I remember one incident where he was performing in, I think, Parner, I remember,
In Ahmednagar district.
in Ahmednagar district. And while the mehfil was going, uh, there was Parnerkar Maharaj. He is a very good listener.
Fond of music.
Yeah, very fond of music. And while the mehfil was on, he just interrupted and said to Kaka, "We have been listening to Fayaz Khan's name only, but today we are experiencing his Gaiki." So that is really a tribute to the great Fayaz Khan Sahab, and also the musical prowess of Pandit Haldankar ji, right? I used to play dhamar also with him, and uh, definitely I would like to mention about it. His tihais were so unpredictable, not typical of Drupad Dhamar Gayaki. I want to say to the audience, it was something really different. From any matra, he used to start a tihai and come to some so easily that we really got stunned. We were all in awe, really awe. So that was his ability, that was his capacity. One more incident, just in short, I'll tell you. Dharitree, you must be knowing the bandish in Rag Shri, which is in Jhaptal, Garib Nawaz.
Garib
Right?
Nawaz. It is Padma Vibhushan Ustad Khadim Hussain Khan's bandish.
Yeah. So in one concert, just before the concert began, just 2-3 minutes, he told me that let us take Rupak for this. So, and in Rupak, he just rendered that bandish so easily that we were really were stunned to see. And it was so like an expert, obviously he was, but this is the experience I would like to share. So he had all the command over lay and tal. That's what I wanted to say. And also one more thing I would like to add. As I told you, he was of the opinion that Agra Gharana is not about only Laikari. It was primarily the Swar Pradhan also. So he used to develop the rag in different manner, not only Laikari. And as I told you, it involved the Pukar, the Lagdat, and all the 18 angs that Kavita mentioned. So that's what I would like to add. Kavita, you just can you demonstrate something, Upaj or something like that?
Yes. I would like to say that he used to say that according to Raga Prakriti, you should present a rag.
Right.
Like if Komal Rishabh Asavari is there, it is not meant for the Laikari. Komal Rishabh Asavari rag is meant for Alab. Because it is Karund Ras Pradhan rag, and whereas if you sing Hamir, it is you can do Laikari in that rag because it is an aggressive rag. Or if you sing rag Durga, it is again it is very what do you say? It is प्रसन्न कर जाता है मन को, ऐसा राग है वो. So I'll just demonstrate on one thing.
Upaj?
And of course, one thing I wanted to mention again, that he used to say there are shrutis in rag. So if you sing Bhimpalas, if Komal Gandhar and Komal Nishad are there are not only one Nishad is there are two more shrutis of Nishad. While approaching Tar Shadja, that Nishad is little bit on higher side, and while you come down to down Shadja, it is little bit lower. I'll just try if I can. This is so when I approach Tar Shadja, it is little bit higher. Like this. So
right.
He always said that just see the shruti of that swar. You just go deep and deep and deep, and you don't get it. That's what I think.
No,
But
and
still, you
in the
should
end,
go.
Kavita, do you remember? He
Huh.
used to say, the rag draws me in.
Yes, yes, yes. Once I
So that
asked
is
him
the
that,
most
Kaka,
important
how do
thing.
you sing so many ragas one by one again? So he said, where I sing rag, rag only takes me in. That's what
That is the thing.
he
And,
said.
and just one more thing, Dharitri, approach, when he approached the sum, that is something I would like to say. Uh, the last beat of the cycle and first beat of the next cycle. There is, as we are all music lovers and students, we know that if the lay is specific, that distance is also specific, that is fixed. But when Kaka used to approach the sum, that distance means appeared to be so big that sum really means he approached the sum where he wanted to. That is the thing I wanted to mention about. Right now we can go ahead.
One point I just missed, Dhananjay, that
Ah,
you asked me about upaj,
hmm,
and there were two types of upaj. He said upaj
hmm,
is just reproduce one phrase again and again in different ways,
hmm.
and upaj is again lay chhod ke gana.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if
yeah.
I am singing in one lay, just leave that lay and sing
Hmm.
something out of lay, and still it goes hand in hand. That
Right.
your alaps and
Knowledgeable people might know this. It is very difficult. It's very difficult. When the lay is going and you leave that lay and sing something else in some different lay, it's very difficult. Ah,
and that upas he used to do in akar, like "Hey, आनी रे मैं
ah,
जागी
din, din, da, da, din, din, da, 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 din, din, da, da. Right. Din, 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 da, din, da.
like that.
And
So
it
it
is very
was his
difficult for the
specialty
tabla player as well.
to maintain
Maintain the
that
lay.
line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
So in Tans also, same thing was in Tan also. He said, just don't just utter sargam. Just don't go like that. Not like that. He said, you show lay in that Tan.
केवल गले की तैयारी नहीं है.
Like this. So there are two,
गले
three,
की
two, three.
तैयारी नहीं है सिर्फ,
सिर्फ
ऐसा
गले की
बोलते थे वो.
तैयारी नहीं. It's not just gimmick. It is
हम्म,
something
हम्म.
different than that. You just try to show something. If you are singing jhaptal, or if you are singing ek tal or teen tal, whatever, whichever tal, but you try to show that khanda in that in your tan, and just make combination of swaras like 2 plus 3, 3 plus 4, yeah, only 4, 4, 4, yeah, 3, 3, 3. Like this. So it was again it was his specialty that so tans are again different from others, and that's what I think.
Right.
Thank you for demonstrating, because this is making it so very special. And as a student, I think many others who are listening will be benefiting from this session. Very insightful. Thank you so much. I think from your discussion, one thing that strikes me is his views on Laikari, which is not just playing with the lay, but taking the whole avartan
Right.
in trying to grasp the whole avartan and then beautifully filling up that space, which is such a remarkable thing, and it's very difficult to achieve that. And the other thing that struck me from this discussion is that he was a very skilled very knowledgeable person, but he always put forth emotion and aesthetics
Right.
above all of these things. And
Yes,
all
yes.
his musical vision, I think, has been beautifully condensed into several compositions that he has composed. He has
Yes,
composed
yes.
over 200, 300 compositions,
Right.
Yes,
various
yes.
dhamars, bada khayals, taranas, everything. And
Yes.
they are published. I think our viewers did see that in the video clip. But
Mm.
I would like you to elaborate on
Right.
Babanrao ji, this faculty of being a wonderful composer.
Kavita, can I start this discussion?
Yes, yes, sure, sure.
Yeah. Now, Dharitree, you must be knowing, and Agra Gharana has a galaxy of composers.
Yes.
Right from Kavita will explain that. But why I have started, before we were introduced to Kaka, I listened to two bandishes, especially I would like to mention. One in Jayat Kalyan and one Tarana in Todi. And I listened to those bandishes from Pandit Jitendra Abhishekji. That time I didn't know they were composed by Haldankar Kaka. Jayat Kalyan Bandish, as you know it, Hari Deho Darasana,
Hari Deo
Kavita,
Rasa Darasa.
Darasa
Yes.
Darasa, and the Tarana in Todi. Both of those bandishes I listened to from Pandit Jitendra Abhisheki. So it clearly shows that as a bandishkar, he was already established. When he worked in Goa Kala Academy, Pandit Jitendra Abhisheki ji used to go to him and exchange the bandishes with him. And these two bandishes he got from Kaka. And they are really great bandishes, as you must be knowing, Dharitri. Second incidence I would like to add, in one concert, senior tabla player Pandit Narayanrao Indorkar was accompanying Kaka, and Kaka started a tarana in Rag Malkaus, I think. Kavita, am I right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
at a certain point, after he completed the Antara, Narayanrao Indorkar said to him, Beta, jara bandish dekho. Something went wrong, firstly.
No, no.
Right? And then again, ना बंदिश ठीक कर लो ऐसा कुछ बोले थे वो.
नहीं. It is not
हाँ
like that.
हाँ.
Narayan Rao ji said, कैसे कैसे बंदिशें बांधी
नहीं
हैं
वो
बुजुर्गों
नहीं
ने.
नहीं नहीं. और दूसरी बार
हाँ,
जब आए, नहीं वो तबले में शायद कुछ हो गया होगा, लेकिन सेकंड टाइम व्हेन ही अप्रोच, तो कैसे कैसे बंदिशें बुजुर्गों ने बनाई है, तो क्या काका ने क्या किया, उनका हाथ अपने सिर पे रखा और मैंने ही बनाई है बंदिश, ऐसा बोले वो.
right, right.
So that is a great compliment from a
Yes,
very
yes, yes,
senior tabla player, and
yes,
that's what I wanted to share. Kavita, you can
yes.
start.
Yes, as he said, as Dhananjay said, there is a galaxy of composers in Agra Gharana. I would like to mention some. That is Daras Pia, that is Ustad Mehboob Khan Sahib. Saras Pia is Ustad Kale Khan Sahib. Vinod Pia, Ustad Tasuddu Hussain Khan Sahib. Prem Pia, Ustad Fayaz Khan Sahib. Pran Pia, Ustad Vilayat Hussain Khan Sahib. And Sajan Pia, Ustad Khadim Hussain Khan Sahib. And Rasa Pia, Pandit Babanrao Haldankar ji. So I would like to call him Vaggayakar rather than only a composer. That
Right.
Vacham Gayam cha kurute iti Vaggayakaraha. So what does it mean? That literature and music, both the contents are there in his bandish. His one bandish from Khat, Rag Khat, is so very nice. Karata Gunagan Guniya Nasaba. I'll just sing a style of that. करत गुणगान गुणीयन सब गुणी जन की विद्या सिख सुर जान. He's trying to say something to all to the renowned artists also, to the newly learning disciples also. Karat gunagan guniyan sab. So as his bandishes were as so that in different talas also, and from different
And
matras.
And he has great affection for tabla bowls also.
Yes. No, that comes
Ah,
in Tarana, but I'm
yeah, right.
saying about
Ah,
this
bandish,
his
yeah.
bandishes that
Ah.
if you take Ragnan, अब घर आए शाम अब घर, this bandish starts from eighth matra of Drut Ekta.
Difficult.
And it maintains till the Antara and all. So it is the speciality of his bandish that now just see that Shivaranjani Rag. कासे कहूँ मोरी यारी मन की विधा. You just see the notes, you just see the words, and so I say that
They
literature
are so
and
merged together.
music
Yeah.
goes hand in hand. कासे कहूँ, it is saying something. कासे कहूँ मोरी
क्या बात है,
यारी
बहुत
मन
अच्छी.
की विधा. चैन न परत नींद न आवत, चैन न परत नींद न आवत, सगरी रन रस तोरे कारण जगत कासे कहूँ मोरी यारी मन की
And in
विधा.
Antara.
And in Antara, just see that tukar. याद सतावत मोहे दर्दन जानत, दर्दन जानत, बाट तकत तकत सगरी उमरी बीती जात, कासे कहूँ मोरी यारी मन की विधा. What a bandish it is. And I would
And
like to, I remember one thing here that once in Banaras, he had gone for some conference and his disciple sang his bandish in Rag Tilak Kamud. Kar pakarat mori baiya gehelini. And Pandit Ramashray Jha, Pandit Balwantrai Bhattaji was there. Pandit Balwantrai Bhattaji was there and he appreciated bandish, like his bandish like anything. So it was his speciality as a Vagyakar. That's what.
And just a demonstration of a Tarana Kavita, how the bowls were incorporated in his bandishes, in his
Yes.
Taranas. Malcolm's
And
Tarana only.
yes, you said about that Malcolm. So I'll sing Malcolm's only.
Yeah, he had a great affection for tabla bowls and tihais and all. So just demonstrate it, please.
Deem tanana derena tadare dani deem tanana derena. Tanana dir dani tadani tum dir dani tadani na dir dani tadani tum dir dani tadani deem tanana dir tare dani tare dani deem tanana derena. O dani dani tadani deem tanana o dani dani tadani deem tanana dir tare dani tadani tanam derena tanana derena tanam dhada kidanaga dhum kidanaga dhirkitta kranta dha deem tanana derena. So again this bandish starts from the
Second matra. Dina
Hmm.
di dina dina di dina dina di dina da din din da. Yeah,
Yes.
Next point.
Thank you for wonderful demonstration. I think studying Hadank, even if somebody is not a disciple or a direct student of Agra Gharana also, even if someone just studies his bandishes, he would be enriched so much.
Enriched. Yeah.
And I think all the aspects of that he always pressed upon and tried to propagate, they are beautifully condensed in these. I would just like to reiterate them as we are approaching towards the mid of this discussion. That first is Rag Prakriti Anusar Gana, to sing as the emotive demand of the rag according to.
Yes.
Right.
For that, utilize the atra angas or the distinct characteristic ways in which the notes can be sung. take the entire span of the avartan into account so that you can beautifully express your musical thought in it. It doesn't become vague in that way then. And I think the Amad that
Approach.
Dhananjay sir described, that's something I think it comes to one after great sadhana. But I think for students, it's definitely an inspiring thought, and we may not get there, but we can definitely try, get inspired and try to get there.
Yes.
Uh, I want to bring up one point here, that he just didn't teach, didn't sing, and didn't compose. He also was a great critic. Critic not of others, but first of all, he was a critic of himself and of the art that he received and of the art that he was trying to bring forth to the audiences. And not just a critic, he was a researcher. And he didn't just stop that there are hundreds of shrutis. He also tried to find out frequencies of some additional shrutis.
He was an engineer, Dharitree.
Yes.
He was BTech, so he had that scientific approach always.
So that intellectual approach and all. Yeah.
Yes. He was gifted with a great sharp intellect, and he tried to pinpointedly find out frequencies of some additional shrutis than the known 22 shrutis. So I think that's such a, he didn't just stop that there are hundreds of shrutis. Of course, there are many, but he tried to, as it suits the modern era of inquiry. He tried to pinpoint.
That I mentioned in Rag Bhimpalas, he said that Nishad has got 3 shrutis.
Yes.
Like that, he researched so many.
Yeah, and also then his ability to distinctly sing on those shrutis.
Yes.
It's not just
one after the other.
One after the others. Yes. Yeah. So as a critic, he has done great work, not just on the technical part, but also on the aesthetical part of gaikis and of khayal singing, of bandishes. And please elaborate and enlighten us on this aspect of his intellect, please.
Kavita, you speak about Zulu Pahanare. Zulu Pahanare, because that is the comparative study between Jaipur and Agra Gharana. And he had Talim.
He had Talim in Jaipur Gharana also and Agra Gharana also. And so he wrote one book, Zulu Pahanare Tambore. That is, if I translate it, it is translated into Hindi, that Milanotsuk Do Tanpure. So it was about Jaipur and yes.
To interrupt, in English it is Aesthetics of Jaipur and Agra Gharana, the title of the book. Just for the audience.
Yes, and that is comparative study of Jaipur and Agra Gharana.
Comparative and critical, both.
Yes, comparative and critical, and he has mentioned all the plus and minus points of both the Gharanas. Not only he has not criticized any one Gharana, but he has criticized that both the Gharanas in both the ways, positive and negative. And he वो किताब उन्होंने अपनी गुरु मोगूबाई जी को अर्पण की. तो when she read that book, she just went through that book. उन्होंने उनकी पीठ थपथपाई, and then she said that it is such a good thing you have written.
Right.
It is just absolutely true thing you have written, and it is much needed nowadays. That's what ये उनका कहना था. Again, he wrote another book also that he didn't write it, but he was
the editor of
So he that book was Gharananchi Vatsal. That is, there were 3 Gharanas were involved.
Regarding that, Kavita, I just want to focus. Actually, Kaka was quite capable of writing on other Gharanas, because he always mentioned that he was greatly impacted by Abdul Karim Khan Sahab. Dharitree, you must be remembering, Kavita. And so, but that too, he knew what was Kirana Gaiki, what was Gwalior Gaiki, etc. But he didn't write anything, because he used to say, I didn't get talim from those Gharanas. And that is why I won't write a book on that. So what he did, he brought the experts from all those gharanas and then edited the book on the three gharanas, that is Kirana, Gwalior and Bhendi Bazar Gharana, right, Kavita?
Yes, yes. Kirana Gharana is written by Vidushi Dr. Sulabha Thakar. Then Bhendi Bazar Gharana is about Bhendi Bazar
Dr. Suhasini
Gharana,
Koratkar.
Vidushi Suhasini Koratkar, and about Gwalior Gharana, Vidushi Neela
Neela
Bhagwat.
Bhagwat. Yeah. So
Yes.
that is really a commendable job. That is a great addition to the literature on those gharanas, right?
Mm.
Anything else you remember, Dharitree?
Yeah, the one interesting project that he did
Yeah.
when he was the director of Goa Kala
Right,
Academy, if you
right.
can
Yes,
mention
Uh,
yes.
that.
Ragov ka
Ragov ka
Pramanikara,
Pramanikar, standardization of ragas. Yeah, Kavita,
standardization of ragas.
can you throw some light on that?
No, you can talk about it.
So that was a project, Dharitri, about the standardization of ragas. Now the students are always confused what the correct roop of raga is, how the raga, a particular raga is sung. And there is a difference of opinion about a particular raga, about each and every raga. So what Haldankar Kaka did, he brought these stalwarts from different gharanas together. That itself needed great efforts. You must be imagining that.
Yes,
So
yes.
I think Pandit K.G. Ginde ji was present there, and Dinkar Kaikini ji, etc. So he brought them together and discussed about the standardization of ragas so that it would be easier for the students to appear for the exams and attempt the raga properly. And that itself was a commendable project. That was not complete, obviously, because he then left Goa Kala Academy. But to start with such a thing was totally different and commendable.
I think he was so broad-minded, had received such extensive talim in Gharanedar singing, but he still thought of the academic aspect of it also and tried to
Right.
make it simplify
Yes.
it for
Yes.
people who are otherwise there is always we see there is a conflict
Yes.
between the academic way of learning and the Gharandar, the traditional way of learning. But
Yes.
he tried to amalgamize or try to make it
Yeah.
approachable,
Yes.
both
Right.
sides, which is a wonderful.
Wonderful job.
I just salute his spirit of being so liberal and open-minded.
Right.
And I, as a student, I remember I got a very brief opportunity to study with him directly, and I was so novice at that time. But I remember one ability of his, like he would teach so many senior musicians also, but he used to immediately recalibrate
Right.
and come to my level and give me something which I could take and I
Yes,
could
yes, yes.
work with. That's an incredible ability, and
And he
I think
never got annoyed, right? He never
never,
got
never,
annoyed. Whenever
never.
You ask anything.
we could
You
ask
ask
him
him anything.
anything, and he used to answer it.
I think he got the gurus in the same way, right? His gurus were exactly the same.
Yeah, he
No,
used to
Kavita.
discuss so
He
many
used to
things with.
discuss so many things, ask anything, even if very primary, preliminary mistakes, and that's what we did in our lives in association with him, right?
Absolutely. That's the large-heartedness of this great personality. And he also didn't say no to anyone. Whoever came to learn or get anything from him used to always be open. Also, he never looked into a book to teach. That is one thing.
No,
Everything it was
and
there.
he even
He never,
opposed the idea
yeah,
Yes,
to write anything.
yes,
it was
yes.
his quality that he used to say, "Don't just write it down. Don't make that notation and all. Just try to learn it from heart
By
and
heart and yeah.
Yes,
by heart and from brain, and then
absolutely.
just for the thing, for the sake of documentation, you can write down the bandish." But he said that even Mogubaiji never allowed him to open his book and in front of her, and so
Mhm.
same thing he did with us also.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is उसका फायदा ये हुआ है कि I can sing a rag. If you say some rag, I can tried. I can try to
Even
sing it
Kavita,
without seeing
even
in the book.
and Kaka used to ask you in the concert, Kavita, do you
Yes,
remember that bandish? Please tell me.
yes, yes.
That's what he used to say.
He always
Again,
used
the
to forget his own
greatness of
bandishes.
the person. Yeah,
His own bandishes. He used
yeah,
to forget.
yeah.
He used to remember all the bandishes, but he used to forget his own bandishes, and he used to ask me them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One aspect which I would like you to briefly touch upon as we are coming to the end of this, but before that, the importance of breath that he attached to, and how aesthetically he thought of it. Any one of you could
Yes.
briefly.
Kavita.
About damsas, that is
Hmm.
long breath,
Right, right,
is
right.
आगरा घराने की गायकी में एक भव्यता है. It is a huge गायकी
Structure you have to.
and structure, and while singing, like if अगर सांस टूट जाती है बीच में, then that impact goes. Like there is one khayal in Shuddh Sarang, which he used to hold his
Breath.
breath for 30 seconds till when he was 89. But I can't. But he used to, once there was a program of bandishes, and he said, no, you don't sing this bandish because it needs दीर्घ
Breath, long
सांस
breath.
लगता है इसको, long breath लगता है इसको. So it was नैया मोरी पार करो तुम हजरत निजामुद्दीन औलिया हे नैया मोरी पार. So that full span of that raga, it comes in one sans. So you need to show that. That's what he used to say. If तो दमसास कमाने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए, कैसे रियाज करना चाहिए, he has written in his book Aesthetics of दो घराना, both the घरानास. So in Jaipur also दीर्घ दमसास का है, and in Agra also there is.
And he was very, very fond of Kesarbai's gaiki, right?
Yes, yes.
The saas ki baat thi wo puri. Because Kesarbai stopped singing in concerts because her breath was not enough. So हम लोगों ने तो कुछ भी नहीं करना चाहिए ऐसा है.
It's I mean, this discussion can go on for hours. I have been witnessing this since my childhood, and I don't want this to stop. But we are approaching to the end now, and before going hinting to the last topic, I would like to mention one thing, that this session is not just plain tribute to Hardankarji, but it is so insightful for music listeners, and to enhance their capacities of appreciating and aesthetics of khayal gaiki, and of the qualities that probably are being forgotten in the modern performance setup. But this was the mainstream music in earlier era, and we had the fortune of witnessing it live in form of this great illustrious guru and performer. And this discussion, I'm sure, will also invoke a lot of love and respect for Hindustani Sangeet in the minds of new listeners and new students who are, because we are discussing such a towering personality today. Coming to the end of this topic, I would like you both to throw some light on what message a student in today's world, student of Indian classical music, and a teacher, both, can take from Pandit Hardankar's life.
Yes.
Kavita, you please add, then
I
I
can
will
say
conclude.
it in one sentence, that he used to say, don't follow anything blindly.
Right.
Think it of yourself. If you're listening one rag from different artists, just try to research on it and then sing it. If some ask your guru, so it is guru's responsibility also to tell uh, his disciple, his or her disciple, that what is the science behind that rag, what that rag root is there. So that is that I would like to say that just don't follow blindly anything. Just don't copy anyone. Just try to contribute your own thing to the music. So that's
But
all.
saying that, he was definitely of the opinion that stick to the basics.
Hmm, hmm.
Stick to the basics. Gharana has definitely some principles, and those principles must be studied properly, as you said, Kavita, not blindly, right?
Hmm, hmm,
So
hmm.
our job now is to pick up from where he left,
Yes,
from
yes,
where he left off. And we must remember that he was, or he is rather, a powerful link to the last generation, that is the galaxy of Agra Gharana, the artists of Agra Gharana, Fayaz Khan Sahab, etc. And we have to take that lineage forward, right? So that is our job, that is our duty to try and educate the next generation on these lines. And for
yes.
that, I request the organizers, next time when we meet, it should be a little bit demonstration oriented, because this is just a talk, but it is an art, and unless you present something, the ideas are not very clear, right? So the listeners will definitely get something out of those demonstrations, and that's what I request. I again thank both of you, Daritri and Madhumita,
Yes, thank you
for
so much.
yeah, for giving us the opportunity to express ourselves about our guru, Pandit Babanrao Haldankar, alias Kaka. Right. So I'll hand it over to you, Dharitri.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Actually, we are very thankful and grateful to both of you for sparing your time with us today and taking us through this beautiful journey. And we got to discuss Haldankar Kaka's music today. And I think everybody's day has become invariably special because of this. I don't think
Thank
we
you so
can
much. Thank
It's
you.
our pleasure. Yeah.
celebrate his birthday in any other better way, maybe
And
by
and
listening
next
to his
time,
recording or
actually,
maybe by
Dharitri,
singing.
just a word. Next time, I request the like-minded people to come together and participate.
Yes,
Right. So
sure.
that's what I request.
Sure, sure. Yes,
Yeah.
if as you said, if we have to take the old generation aesthetics to, if we have to carry it forward, we definitely need to work together.
Right.
And I'm sure people will respond to your call. I once again thank both of you. I thank our viewers, our Rasikas who joined today. I thank Shrota House for hosting this. And at the end, I bow down to the feet of uh, Pandit Babanrao Haldankar,
Haldankar.
the great, great
Same as
legendary
Right.
me.
musician. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.